Land back, everybody! Woo, woo, woo.
On in the room. Let's get it going. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am Secretary General Anko of the Black Hammer Organization. Woo-hoo. Who are you?
My name is Gazi Kodzo, or just Gazi, all caps like Beyonce. And I am the Commander-in-Chief of the Black Hammer Organization.
Land back.
Land back!
And we reading War of the Flea, and if y'all don't know, it says right here, a classic study of guerrilla warfare. And this book is written by, what's his name, Robert Tabor, some white man, worked for the Pentagon, studied all these Cold War movements, and tried getting into the actual pattern of how guerrilla movements were successful. And it turns out it wasn't weapons or none of that. It was the ability to inspire the people is what is and what does makes revolution successful. Period.
Keep talking because I'm chewing.
All right. So in this, we've been reading these next two chapters, and they go over some of like the strategies and what fails and what actually works, and like the real delineation of just doing random acts of violence versus violence that's utilized for a political gain that is controlled by the revolutionaries themselves in the war of ideas. And that, again, like I said before, is the more important emphasis of it, is that the singular act of violence isn't what changed or moved the society. It was the ability of the guerrillas to tie in what happened politically to the masses of people, and from that, inspire them to keep advancing more and more and more and more.
Land back, y'all. Absolutely. I 100% unite. These two chapters are so important because just like SG laid out, it really gives an example of a guerrilla that does not follow, the instructions of the art of war and like Mao Zedong, and like the writer lays out like Mao Zedong's People's War is like the blueprint, right? And that if you don't know how to read it, because he also stated that Mao Zedong wrote a lot, but Mao Zedong wrote a lot of politics. He did not write a lot about like actual war strategies and things like that. And then the writer says in the beginning, if y'all remember the word, the writer was saying that, but what you find out is when Mao was talking politics, he was talking strategy. And it was like this synonymous thing, that it was synonymous, right? That the politic and the war strategy were the same and that they matched. And the writer said, if you just take the violent part from what was going on with Mao Zedong, but disconnect it from the politic, you're not gonna get it. But if you take the politic and make your rataha match your politic, right, you gonna get it. And so in here, he shows two different examples. An example of somebody that took Mao Zedong's art of guerrilla warfare and stuff like that, took that correctly and took it incorrectly, right? And he shows somebody first, he shows the incorrect, the first chapter. And then the second chapter, he shows the person that got it correct, that he believes got it correct and followed it to a T. So I thought that this was really important. And so basically where we're at in this book is literally like a textbook that like the FSB uses. And he broke down a lot of the science beforehand. And in like most textbooks, at the end of the textbook, you get like the quiz part, right? Or like the examples part. So this was like the examples part. Example of somebody that did not follow everything that he just laid out. An example of somebody that did follow everything that he laid out. So I think it's very important. But we are going to talk about it dead ass right now. But land back, this is going to be more of a conversational piece. So we're going to be asking a lot of questions from y'all because we want to know what y'all learned. Okay?
Let's see what y'all think and what y'all gathering from this.
Announcements.
Let's go.
Real quick.
Well, first and foremost, y'all, we're building Hammer City. like building because we do have the land now for Hammer City.
Oh my God.
On the Tuesday rally last week, I said within 48 hours, and we got it within 24 hours, y'all. So we got the land. So please start donating to build Hammer City. We're trying to establish our base camp, and that's gonna, require a few supplies like tents, food setup, making sure that people are secure with medicine and access to resources that they need while we first get construction up and going. So if you can donate at Build Hammer City at GoFundMe, that's gofundme.com/buildhammercity. And then for Cash App and Venmo, it's also Build Hammer City. And like, y'all, I want to emphasize, by $1, $2, $3 goes incredibly far for what we're trying to accomplish. We're not trying to build anything other than indigenous systems of life. And that means harmony with nature. So we don't need all these extravagant machinery and this and that. We just need our basic resources to make sure that we're being protected from the sun, not dying of starvation, animals, all that kind of stuff. And so, donating, and all the money that you donate will be going straight to our base camp. And then we'll keep y'all updated on all of that. But shout out to Benjamin for $10. We got 15 from Chief I. We got 44 that's been separated from colonizers. Separate that 44. That's my lucky number, 44. Looks like we got another $10 coming through. Come on, y'all. You're helping build a dual contending power when you do all of this.
$10.
It goes real far. Another $10. Thank you.
Colibri. That's it, right? Colibri Mail. Let's keep those donations coming, y'all. We got 200 acres of land, liberated land. We liberated 200 acres of land. And let me tell you, y'all, we is really respecting this land. We is communing with this land. Okay, this land is now a member of the Black Hammer organization. You feel me? It is a beautiful thing. So help her out. She needs you. Okay, the Black Hammer land needs you. It needs you, y'all. It needs you. So y'all, please, please, please make sure to donate. Okay, y'all. Oh, we got $40. Thank you so much, y'all, man.
We got another 10, 20 from Shagun. Thank you.
Thank you. Teray, 20. Thank you, Teray. Land back. Let's keep those donations coming. All right, y'all. Call your friends, call your family. And if you cannot donate, do you know how you can donate? By sharing this book trap. If you cannot donate, share. How many times do I need to share it, Gazi? Share it as many times as how much dollars you would donate. So if you was going to donate $20, if you had it, share 20 times. Share 20 times to all these groups on Facebook. Share 20 times on the Twitter. Are y'all tweeted? Tweet this right now.
Tweet it out.
This is how we make the money for the Hammer City, y'all. Tweet this right now. Who gonna tweet? Tweet Black Hammer has got 200 acres with this link on Twitter. You gonna make them mad.
You're gonna make them mad, and that's the point. We want to agitate them to be like, look what we did. Y'all are in these circular protests, and we out there too, but we're bringing back our people to build power, to build this, an anti-colonial struggle. And y'all, guess what we're reading? War of the Flea. Connections, y'all.
Connections. When you tweet it, say tweet it. When you tweet it, say tweet it in the comments. Land back. I want to know who's listening, who's following directions. What's next?
Let's keep it moving. Land back. Okay, y'all, we got a little bit of book trap trivia. We like to see if y'all have actually been reading. So let's go to the question and let's lay it out. Let's lay it out for the comrades. Let's go. What was the name of the revolutionary organization against French colonialism in Algeria? A, the Liberation People's Army. B, the National Liberation Front. C, the Algerian Freedom Movement. Or D, the People's Movement for Algeria. So go ahead, put your answers in the comments. We'll give it a couple of seconds, see what y'all think. Also, don't plagiarize people's answers. If you see one person put it up first and you don't know, don't just be putting it in there. Just read next time. So let's go ahead, put your answers in the comments, A, B, C, or D. Let's see if y'all been
Come on, y'all. Come on.
Let's get it going. Okay, 57 of y'all not putting your answers in. Okay, here we go.
Y'all wake up. Y'all watching us. Come on, put that B.
They said D.
Okay, we're seeing a lot of B's for some reason.
I wonder why. It's because y'all read, right?
I just want to make sure y'all pass class.
Mm-hmm. Y'all been reading.
Land back, Nick. We miss you. Land back.
Nick.
Nick, you and your fam better come visit. Oh, the land is beautiful. So beautiful. And isolated. Away from crackers.
Period. So peaceful. Fresh air. There's no like lingering white person around and the energy.
Land back, y'all. Woo-hoo! Did we tell y'all? So y'all already know the answer is B. B for big boobs.
Big boobs.
Big boobs.
What?
I love it. Land back, y'all. What's next? Trivia. We see y'all reading.
And then next, if you're a colonizer watching, please sign up for the Reparation Corps because you're not going to be able to cleanse your entire legacy of genocide in none of these other kinds of organizations because they don't center around material reparation and returning material things back to the people.
Yes.
That means skills. That means cold hard cash. That means protection. That means your life, anything for our liberation and you falling underneath the leadership of the colonized working class. That's how you actually start the process committing national suicide, is following under our leadership. And let me tell y'all, it's an 8-week boot camp and you're going to learn about the white identity, the European identity, and how y'all came out of a plague. And that's where your identity really was consolidated from. So the fact that we in a plague now, you should want to undo all of that.
That's crazy.
So sign up for that Reparation Corps.
Yes.
Because you'll learn. You'll learn. You'll really learn. I promise. Please sign up.
We promise, y'all. We promise. Y'all better get them white folks in this class, y'all. Y'all better get them white folks up in this class because white nationalism, white power is getting ready to recruit all these dang white people, y'all. Mm-hmm. Oh, Lord. You know, guys be reading the news, child. I've been reading the news. And it seems, oh Lord, they talking about America. Just go ahead and be an old-fashioned colonial empire. Mm-hmm. That is the way and the only way to get out of this economic crisis you was in. So get ready for that. Get ready for a lot of your little white friends. They're gonna be like, actually, girl, yes, you are colonized. Mm-hmm. I am your colonizer.
And that's just how it's gonna be. That's what they think. That's not how it's gonna be, though. So let's make that real clear. So join the Reparation Corps. All right, let's keep it moving, y'all.
What's next? We going to these chapters yet? Is we going to these chapters yet? We are? Okay, good. I can see you, Chief Through. These is our producers in the back. Chief Through, put your camera on because we can see your face and behind the scenes so you can signal us. See, oh, Lord. Y'all, these are new features, so we didn't know. These are new features on Zoom. Zoom. What is this? StreamYard, the ducky. Praise God. All right, y'all. So now we is going to the chapters. Mm-hmm. Okay, chapters, y'all. Here we go. Okay, so chapter 7 first, right?
I don't know these Roman numerals.
Me neither, girl. I'm learning with you. Mm-hmm. Okay, so this white man number, I think that's 7 because the B is a 5.
6, 7, and then, okay, yeah.
6, 7, then 8, then you're great. Okay, so this chapter, what I want y'all to write down while I'm reading my Read That Back, I don't want y'all to tell me what to read that back. I want y'all to tell me what you think, right? The IRA did wrong. The what's it called? Them folk did wrong. Am I reading the right chapter?
Yeah, we on the IRA.
Okay. Y'all read what they did wrong, okay? And I'm going to read a part of this that I thought was really important or good or whatever, right? Okay, here we go. This is page 98, right? Mm-hmm. Page 98. Okay. It says, bombs and bullets are the physical weapon of the rural guerrilla and equally of the urban terrorist. But the real lever for both is politics. Divisions may be distorted, as in Vietnam, but this is not the ultimate objective. Cities may be terrorized, as in Cyprus, but again, this is not the goal. The purpose of the war of national liberation, pitting the feeble resources of a small and primitive nation against the strength of a great industrial power, is not to conquer or to terrorize, but to create an intolerable situation for the occupying power or its puppet government. In the War of the Flea, parliamentary cannonades, what's it say? Cannonades wreak more havoc than artillery. Headlines burst bigger than bombs. Peace marches win battles where machine guns fail. Casualties are low because guerrillas, while fighting campaigns of attrition, shun the battles of attrition common to regular armies. Terrorism conveniently, is that right? Conventionally viewed with pious horror as political murder. But how more murderous than blockbusting a city or napalming a village is far more humane, being more selective than most other types of warfare. In the end, the oppressive power relinquishes its grasp, not because its armies have been defeated in battle, although as we have seen, this may occur, but because the satellite, the rebellious colony, through terrorism and guerrilla warfare, becomes one, too great a political embarrassment to be sustained domestically or on the world stage, or two, unprofitable, too expensive, or no longer prestigious. The rebel cast himself in the role of David and makes it his business to force the enemy into the role of Goliath in the public mind's eye. It doesn't say I, but I put that in there. His every act and announcement play on the sympathies and sense of justice of the global witnesses of the struggle by creating a picture of a courageous people fighting for independence against the monstrous forces of tyranny and oppression. Led back.
Crazy.
I think this is extremely important. Did y'all get this? It's extremely important. So this is when it's not multiple choice. This is conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to read what y'all thought the IRA did not do. Like this is, I'm going to scroll up. Somebody said, Soli said, Ghazi's that classmate that be trying to be slick with helping you, but blurts out the answer. Me too. LOL.
Mm-hmm.
Dead ass. Okay, so now let's see who's talking about this chapter, though.
Mm-hmm. What y'all think the IRA didn't do in this?
Okay, we're seeing that maybe some of y'all did not read, because we only have one answer. Wow. Wow, 55 of y'all is real quiet.
Mm-hmm.
That's all right. Like this, comment. Okay, Sante said, hold on, wait. Oh, Sante's was to read that back. No, Sante not paying attention. I said, Sante, give us what they did wrong. Okay, there you did. Sante said the IRA did not have the support of the masses. Okay, but why did they, let's have a conversation. Why did they not have support of the masses? What were they doing wrong? I know what happened with that's a effect of a wrongness. That's not what they did wrong, right? They didn't win the masses. Okay, Cussy. What did they do to not win the masses? See? I'm a real teacher. Okay, Teray said they didn't attempt to win the people and recruit from the masses. They scared them off with terrorism. Okay, that's a bit closer. Warmer. But you didn't answer the question. All right, let's go. This is great. I love this. This is much better than us just yelling at y'all. Sante said revolutionary organizations and guerrillas are of the people. We did not see the support of them. That is true. But I want to know, I'm trying to hear. It was close to Ray. Let's go. Benjamin.
The IRA did not make themselves the British look bad. They were just throwing bombs around.
Good. Okay, Benjamin.
Right on top.
Okay, right. Ojo. Land back. Okay, let's see. Who else? Gabby. Y'all got to change y'all's names on Facebook if you want me to say your name. Ade, go ahead.
They lacked popular support and they were huge on artillery battle despite it not being the most effective. Yeah, I think that's part of it. That you also got to expose your enemy. There it is. It's that the terrorism that the IRA was engaged in wasn't really exposing the weakness of the British Empire. But the fact is the British Empire exposed itself, and that kind of led to like this popular demand that the British should pull out anyways. But that didn't come from the IRA itself. Them just doing random acts of political violence didn't actually captivate the people because the entire center of these random acts of violence was just random acts of violence. It wasn't utilized to delegitimize the power of the crown. And that's where they went wrong, because they didn't translate anything of their violent political action into political power because they had the trust of the masses. They were premature.
Lay it back. Go to skip Shagun. Go to S real quick. S said the IRA's resistance in the city of Dublin was not organized, and because of this, they were bait for the British imperialists to dismantle their movement. That is 100% true as well. Now, let's go to Shagun's answer, which is at the pinpoint of it all and laid it out. They were terrorists. This is why in Black Hammer Organization, we say we disunite with terrorists. We disunite with terrorism as a tactic, as a strategy, not because of some moral standpoint of like, oh, terrible, but like the fact that it does not work. It does not get to our ultimate gain and aim. And it is a manifestation. Terrorism is like a manifestation of opportunism, and opportunism is the mother of what? Anarchism, spontaneity, and boom, terrorism. And that's the best you can get out of these anarchist organizations. So if we are laying out that terrorism does not work, terrorism does not work, terrorism does not work, right? Of tackling or accomplishing any real long-term goals at all, right? It's just this burst. It doesn't do anything. The masses are disconnected from it. The oppressor continues to oppress the next day. Like, you know, the terrorist act that happened on the, the Twin Towers, right? Did that stop America from continuing to loot and bomb and drone and exploit the people of the Arab people in the Middle East, what they call the Middle East? No, not at all. Not at all. Now, anarchism at best can get to terrorism, at best. Because what's the kind of organization they be doing? What's it called?
They just have like affinity groups, or like squads, if you will. There's no real dedicated leadership within anarchist organizations, and they don't even really call themselves organizations. But the tendency that you end up getting with that is unofficial leaders and zero accountability. And so then you have some unofficial leader leading all these people into some terrorist act, and like that's it. That's the end. Like there's no the next step. There's no next step.
Period. Now, the anti-colonial conversation that we need to have here is we gonna need a lot of y'all to stop caping for Irish people and calling them colonized. We're also gonna need y'all to stop trying to cape for like these little, I wouldn't even call the IRA like a terrorist organization. I would just call it an organization of bored, drunk Irish men that want to do some wild thing, put sugar in a military bus or something like that, and be like, whoa, yeah, I did something. Fuck the British man, I did that, yeah. But they're not like the masses of the Irish people are not disunited with their unity with the United Kingdom because of the exploitation and the wealth of the looting of Africa and other colonized nations around the world, which feed them as well. And if you look at the timetable, one thing this man be doing, because he's white, he doesn't have a very far sight view, and he kind of sees some things and a lot of things in vacuums, right? Like even the IRA coming out and stuff like that, he doesn't signify exactly what made them irritated, right? He doesn't really talk about that much. Right around this time was right before around the, the First World War, right? Where there was another crisis of imperialism, right? And Germany, the Ottoman Empire, and I believe Hungary went on this side, and the British and France and the United States of America was on this side, right? Because the white power, the white ruling class was at war with each other, right? Was at war with each other. They were upset. Why? And he laid this a little bit more. I laid a little bit more. He didn't lay it out more. He just like dropped it here and there. But anyways, that in the next chapter actually more. But anyways, that at that time, England and France were the two world powers. You understand? So how we have China, America versus now, and the USSR before that, in this period, it was France and the United States of America. And sometimes France and the United States of America, I'm sorry, let me be clear. France and the United Kingdom. And sometimes France and the United Kingdom did not see eye to eye, right? That's why France assisted the white Europeans in America with their revolution, because France saw it as a way to destabilize the United Kingdom. So France, right, can be the number one world power, because France was always that number two world power that was close to the UK. And sometimes they did this, whatever. And that power was sustained off of who stole the most loot. That's why in Africa and around the world, you have colonized people speaking French, right? But you got more colonized people speaking English. That shows you who was the number one world power. But anyways, these two were the number one and number two at sucking up and looting and getting more powerful. Germany, Hungary, and even the Ottoman Empire were upset about this situation, because these were now not just world powers, these were new world powers, right? And Germany was like, damn, so they went into this fight, right? But the reason why they lost that World War II is because France and the British and America used a steroid in the fight, a drug, you could say, to win the fight. And it was the stolen loot and resources of African and colonized people around the world. You see? And so, but during this crisis, during this fight, the IRA gets agitated and stuff like that and start acting up or whatever. But at the end of the day, they unite with that. They unite with the UK because they gonna get more of y'all's stolen resources.
And also another thing, just to like demystify this whole IRA, it is not a socialist organization. It is not a communist organization. There is a very, very small faction of the IRA that wants to, have this class contradiction to be overturned or whatever. They're not a unified force. They are not a unified force. They are not actually fighting for the masses of Irish people. That is not in their purview. And so like this mystifying of violence, which really ends up happening and like fetishizing it, is incorrect and wrong. You are misguided if you are just thinking that random acts of terrorism against the crown is what's really winning the people. Like, you know what? I don't care about the crown. I don't care what happens to none of their things. But I do care about what happens to people. And that's why we disunite with terrorism. And that's why we don't look up to the IRA as a blueprint for us to follow. They aren't united, and we are. And that's it. The other part of success. We are inspired for our liberation, and they are not.
They are not. But what you Irish folk who do want true freedom and to rejoin the masses of humanity, regain your humanity, can do is join the Reparations Corps. This is how you will end whatever issue you think you may or may not have with the UK. This is how you end the issues that you have with each other. This is how you end the issue you have with the world. Is join the Reparations Corps. If you is in Ireland, okay.
Oh yeah, because if you in the Reparations Corps, we going after the UK too. Like that's in your interest too. So
period. Somebody asked, KW said, is the Ottoman Empire colonialist? No, they were a feudal empire, right? But there was this new power that was coming into life off of colonialism, which created capitalism and imperialism, right? And so the Ottoman Empire took the side of the Germans, because the Ottoman Empire saw that as a threat to and it was a threat to their expansion of their empire, more south into Africa and things like that. So that's why they engaged in that World War II. And when they lost, that's another thing. White people is white, and they know who is white and they know who is not. Because when World War I was won, right? And against Hungary and Germany and the Ottoman Empire were the main people. Only one of those three had to dissolve their nation. The non-white one. You understand? Germany and Hungary got slapped on the wrist with, hey, so you're going to have less colonies now to steal from, and just don't do that again. Okay, and here's some taxes. Ottoman Empire, it's done. It's over. Disseminate.
Dissolve.
It's done.
Oh, and then like the balkanization of like all of
we
that.
own you now. We own you now. That not happened in Germany and Hungary, because white is white. And guess what? Who got nuked in the World War II? It wasn't Italy.
It wasn't Spain. It wasn't Germany. It was the Japanese. The non-white ones. Like, that's the thing. Like, Franco, Mussolini, Hitler, and I forgot what his name is in Japan. But those three, they were white. They were united over fascism and the colonies that they wanted to loot from. Japan was too, but Japan didn't look like the others. Japan did not look like the others, and that's another huge mistake of Japan. If Germany were to say, like, win all of Europe and then go into Africa and the rest of Asia and India like they were planning to, what do you think they were going to do to the Japanese? They did not see the Japanese as equal. They saw them as a strategic and temporary alliance to handle the Soviet Union in the East.
Okay, girl. Ooh, we going in. Y'all, this is powerful. But y'all may be thinking, what does that have to do with the book and stuff like that? You have to understand these are the things that you have to see of the superstructure that's creating these frustrations and these things to come out, right? That the Irish people thought that the UK was in this World War II. And when you're in a World War II, a lot of the things you have, when you're in a world war, right? This is World War I, I'm sorry. A lot of the things that you have dominion over start to struggle with you because your choke on their neck, you got to be off of it. So, right, in the UK, during World War II, their military was all around Africa, right? Mm-hmm. And India and all that other kind of stuff. During World War I, those troops had to leave to engage in war with Germany, right? They had to leave and engage. When you leave these colonies, do you think these colonies are going to say, okay, master, I'm going to stay here with my chain on and my neck and just wait for you to come back? Okay, bye. Mm-hmm. Once they leave, then niggas start acting like they want to be free. Mm-hmm. You see? And that's why I know nothing's innately wrong with colonized people, because if something was innately wrong and we were oppressing ourselves, there would need to be no police force. There would need to be no all this surveillance. Mm-hmm. There would need to not be all this lies in the school system. That they have to sustain us to be in this position of hurting each other, of doing this to ourselves. So anyways, massa went, people rose up. And the same with Ireland, the same you're going to see in Greece, is that people saw this as an ability. Since the UK's chokehold was off, maybe we should try to do something different. Maybe we should try to be a little free or whatever like that. But the UK came back, went like this, and everybody sat down.
But also, I just want to respond to a comment real quick. Yes, Slavic people are white. I don't know why.
I knew you was going to answer that one.
I don't know why this is so hard for y'all. But
why are y'all going to start her up? Go ahead, girl.
Whiteness is not about your skin color purely. It is a power structure in which you can assimilate into. Just because other Europeans do not think you're white does not make it so. If I picked up some Slavic man, threw his ass in Uganda, whose privileges do he have? A white person. How do the Ugandan people see this person? A white person. It is about being able to assimilate into a power structure. Ghazi over here cannot assimilate into the power structure. It does not work that way. So just because in Europe, other Western Europeans don't consider the Eastern Europeans white does not make it so. And whiteness has always been based off what you're not versus what you are. You're white because you're not black. That's it. So yes, you can assimilate into it, just like the Irish, the Italians, whatever. Mm-hmm. That let's lay that to rest. It's okay. It's okay. You can still have your culture. You can still have your roots and your food over in that cold area. But accept that facts. It is okay. You can destroy it. Mm-hmm. Let's move it.
Period. And you know the word slave came from the Slavics because that's when white people tried to enslave themselves. But then they realized that white people are horrible workers. So they couldn't create an economy off of that. But yeah, y'all, just because y'all have a fight internal of the house, y'all still family.
That ain't got nothing to do with us. Also, let's consider that race science was started in Europe. Colonized people had no interest in classifying people like that.
At all.
So,
All right, y'all. So we about to get to this next chapter, our last chapter, y'all. But before we go there, let's do another raising for Hammer City. We got $200. Not $200. We got 200 acres. How much money we raised already? How much money we raised?
Let's see. I
owed you how much money we raised. Is anybody?
170.
Only 170?
Come on, y'all. Let's keep it going. I know a Friday just passed pretty recently, and I know y'all get paid on Fridays, those of you who still got a job. And I'm just saying, when you donate to Hammer City, we are putting it back into the people, building our own systems of self-determination. And I don't know if y'all have seen, but like the food supply chain is collapsing, shipping is starting to collapse, the economy is collapsing, the virus isn't getting any better, and any kind of connection, you still have the colony that you're hoping your job's still going to keep you there.
Yes.
I just want to say,
we got 200 acres.
You are not seeing where this country is going. It is in active decay. The state is asking white people to start being proud that this is an empire and to accept that fact. Don't mess with none of these allies. America only. 70 million people believe in Donald Trump's politics and pushing it forward. 70 million people, y'all. Whatever you think this country's gonna be in 5 years, this idealistic, dreamy, everything's gonna be fine. I'm gonna have my nice house. I'm gonna be drinking clean water. It's not. It's not. And it's really important for y'all to see that building a dual contending power like Hammer City is just a step and a start for us to actually advance anti-colonial struggle to that next level. So please donate. So we got $20, we got $15, another 15, another 444.
Make this big, please. Please make this big. First, we need to get these likes and these likes and hearts up and these shares up. Are y'all tweeted on Twitter? I said, make me big, please. I said, y'all commented on Twitter that we got 200 acres. The Black Hammer organization has 200 acres. You feel me? Like what can these other organizations say that they have accomplished from 2020? You know what I mean? Like, we
did this in 9 months.
BLM can say they bought 4 houses. Oh Lord, the way everybody's getting exposed. You know, PSL said that they raised enough money to get 3 sorry ass organizers out of prison, right? You know,
a 30-year sentence out of adventurism.
And I don't trust people that was arrested and then all your charges get dropped. I'm sorry, you cut a deal, but anyways, stay up away from me, bad things. Anyways, I never, you know, Ghazi from the hood. I never seen that. I never seen one of my partners there get arrested for something, and then all they chopped when somebody all they charges get dropped and they come back home. The hood always has an eye on you. So I'ma just say y'all should keep an eye. But anyways, we got 200 acres. That's what we have done. That's what we have done. Let me tell you, when the crisis of imperialism is falling, when this is happening, our people are going to need food, clothing, shelter, right? And our people are going to need that. When the Dust Bowl happened, when the Great Depression happened, colonized people went to the land. Right? The Great Depression was white people's Great Depression. It was not the Great Depression for indigenous people. It was not the Great Depression for African people, because we already separated ourselves from them and created a way of life for ourselves. So much so. Do you know that to heal this Great Depression, what they allowed white people to do is to take the farmland of African people, of indigenous people, and then built companies off of that? Right? A lot of these wheat companies that you eat on from right now is from stolen land, because they talk about the bombing of Tulsa, Oklahoma. But what you don't understand is that Tulsa, Oklahoma was not just a city. It had land and fertile land that they were growing and to feed those people from, right? That was all stolen. And they put all these factories and things on it, right? So I'm just saying that during this time of this Great Depression, we need to step to the side and then get ready for them to come and try to steal our stuff, and we're gonna be like, no. But anyways, we're gonna talk about that later. But one thing is colonized people, beyond all that, beyond the strategy, beyond that, most importantly, what it does for our healing. Like being on that land, y'all, being on liberated land with my indigenous comrade, and like, you know, just what it meant. Like communing with the land, talking to the land, touching the land, y'all. Like I really did. I was talking. That's how it is, y'all know. So anyways, and just being there and like going through the land and being mindful of its branches to not break, and being mindful where my foot was. Like, this is how we need to, and the understanding of like where our mind is connected to the land, step on it, and like to be like, like really, this connection, y'all, I can't explain it, but it was better than any antidepressant I ever took. Even the microdosing I be on. Even the marijuana that I had once in a while. It did not compare. Mm-hmm. It did not compare. It did not compare to the healing that the land did.
Yeah, and just the peace that it actually brings. And also, while we were up there, we were just noticing we have everything that we need already from the land. That's how it's always been. And that being able to just take some moment and delicately look at what created us is something that you don't get to have in cities for so many colonized people, specifically in slums or in bad hoods. Like, you don't get to hear the snow fall. You don't get to hear like the ice melting.
Wait, hold on. Did y'all hear that? Y'all, we heard the snowfall. Like, snowfall is music, y'all. It's music. Mm-hmm. And you can't hear that in the city. You can't even hear that in the suburbs. Mm-mm. Like, ooh, y'all.
Yeah, exactly, Oju. You can hear it. And the air is so clean. Like, you can feel the difference, like the heaviness of the air that is down in the city. Like, now that I think about it, you can taste and you can feel the heavy metals that are in the air, and
they don't know. Oh, we forgot to tell y'all. Y'all don't know why the air is so, not just are we isolated.
Not only are we isolated.
You tell the people how many feet high we is.
But Hammer City is 10,000 feet in the air.
So we all gonna be in the Mile High Club.
We all in the Mile.
We all gonna be in the Mile. So come to Hammer City and you go and get you some boom boom, and you gonna be in the Mile High Club.
We in the Mile High. A mile's like 5,000. We're like 2 miles up in the air, y'all, and like the clouds are like right there.
It's stargazing. Mm-hmm. The star. Do you understand how close you are to the stars? The stars are like this. I can't show y'all items and stuff because I can't have y'all thinking no way. So, anyways, the stars is like this.
Yeah,
the clouds is like this.
It is right there, and like, it's just a dream. It is a dream that I would say every child's first dream is just to play on the land, to just be on the land.
Y'all donate. Give the money back to Mother Earth. This money goes back to Mother Earth. Mother Earth is giving us colonized people a nice, safe refuge place to be. And y'all already know. Ooh, y'all, come on.
See, this is the thing. Ark Newton, I've never seen stars before.
Oh, Jesus.
That is the reality for so many colonized people.
Wait. Y'all, SG be telling me things. I'll be like, SG, you gotta tell the world. Tell them it's not just stargazing. Tell them what we will be able to see.
Oh, it's not just stars, y'all. Like, we're so high up and so remote, and it's so dark. Like, you can see the entire galaxy. Like, the Milky Way is visible every single night. Like, there's no binoculars looking. There's no extra squinting. Your eyes are wide open, and the galaxy is right above you. It is not anything different. There's no distortions. There's no projections. Because down in the city, you can see like maybe Venus or a star or two. But I'm telling you, the entire Milky Way.
Do y'all understand? Okay, some of y'all are not astronomers like me. The Milky Way is not just a reflection of stars, a bunch of stars, but the Milky Way is also planets and so amazing, and meteorites and so many things. But it has colors to it. Do you understand? You will see the colors of the reds and the oranges and the blues, like at night. Like, you will see, like, if you have time after book chat, just Google Milky Way and just see the beautiful.
And y'all, when you're looking at the Milky Way, like, the Earth is at the edge of the galaxy. And when you look at the Milky Way, you're looking at the center of the galaxy. The first creation of our existence. You get to look back into time to see. And like, it's just this reconnection with our own spirituality, looking up into the sky and seeing this is where we came from.
Yes.
This is where we came from. All of that wonder we get to be under every single day.
And the soil, everything, just the soil is so nurturing and loving and growing. It grows so many things. And we just want to let it keep growing. And we can't tell you what it be growing because but it be growing things. You know, we're not growing nothing illegal, but it be growing things, right? Take your mind out the gutter.
Mm-hmm.
But the soil is so amazing. And we were stepping on all kinds of different little poopies. There's poopies everywhere. Girl, do you know what trackings we saw? Because you know, guys was looking for some trackings because I was going to see if we saw a bear or some shit. But Uncle SG was like, you will smell a bit before you see a bear. I was in the Boy Scouts. And I was like, okay, girl, I'm glad you were in a cult. But no, it's good that she was in the Boy Scouts. But anyways, we saw wild turkey prints.
Looked like a whole ass dinosaur was walking around up there. But yeah, wild turkeys up there, deer.
The turkey print was bigger than my paw.
Mm-hmm.
My paw, my hand.
Same thing.
I have a paw. I'm an animal.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all. Anyways, y'all. So listen, let's get to this next chapter real quick. We're going to burn this next chapter because I don't like talking about little white people and little scrimmages they be having.
I got one on 125.
Go ahead.
All right. So y'all.
Page 125.
We're starting at British propaganda. All right. British propaganda was bitter in its denunciation of the methods used by the EOKA. But Grievous was not concerned, as he later wrote, "All war is cruel, and the only way to win against superior force is by ruse and trickery.
Come through.
You can no more afford to make a difference between striking in front or striking from behind than you can between employing rifles and howitzers. The British may criticize me as much as they like for making war in Cyprus, but I was not obliged to ask their permission to do so. Nor can they now deny that I made it in the most successful way. Terrorism was supported by intensive political agitation that brought out huge crowds in the principal towns. During one demonstration in Nicosia in September, army trucks were overturned and set afire, and the British Institute was burned to the ground. The headlines generated by this activity failed to win Greece a hearing on the Cyprus question in the United Nations. The Greek appeal was rejected on September 23rd, but the EOKA campaign had shaken the British. 2 days later, after the UN rejection, it was announced in London that a new governor would replace Sir Robert Armitage immediately. So what we see here with the Greek communist guerrillas versus the IRA is that the Greek communists had some mass support behind what they were doing. The acts of terrorism that came out were actually politically motivated. So you see here that the terrorism was supported by intensive political agitation and brought out huge crowds. So from these huge crowds and the combination of that terrorist act, it shook the British Empire and it scared them. Because now you have masses of people coming out supporting the burning down of their buildings, supporting the destruction of military equipment. And this was a lot more tactful for the Greeks to be doing than what the IRA did. The IRA, when it randomly went out and started shooting random people, that didn't win nobody. But the Greeks weren't doing that. The Greeks were very calculated and knew if we were going to engage in terrorism, there also has to be intensive political agitation to win any mass support for that action. Otherwise, the Greeks would have completely isolated themselves from what they were actually trying to do. And what they were trying to do, and what Grievous understood, was making the occupation of Britain and Greece so unbearable and unprofitable that they would leave. And you see that as a success when they pulled out their first governor and put in a military governor. Because governors are typically political and not military forces. But in this case, they pulled out their political governor. They weren't getting any ground, weren't showing any kind of movement. And so this is then where the British have to put in a military governor who had all of these awards and accolades from conventional warfare. But that wasn't going to work in the situation of Cyprus. It was not going to work in the situation of Cyprus because what are they actually going after? When you have this massive military and you have these fleas, what's your target? And this only further delegitimizes the British Empire and its ability to control any kind of situation because they bring in this massive military force and there's no target in sight.
Come on now.
But they keep losing each and every day. It's just a hit here, a hit here, a hit here, but there's no hit backs. There's nothing for the jaws to snap down on. There's no surface for it to be scratched on. And so this is how you see our enemy cut away at itself with its own attempt at repression.
Come on now.
You can't win. You can't win.
You can't win.
Mm-hmm.
You can't get out. You can't get out of the game. You can't win. All right, lay back, y'all. I want to 100% unite. Well, as she just laid out, y'all. She laid out. And you know them Greeks, y'all? Them Greeks, they have experience with an empire. The Romans, right? Because, you know, the Romans dominated the Greeks, right? And so now the Greeks were dealing with this new empire, which was the UK, the British Empire. And they're probably like, but Ghazi, the memory was from so long ago and da-da-da-da. What I'm talking about, y'all, is an understanding of the ramifications of being under an empire, what that causes, because you were under one before, right? So for instance, a lot of Greek history and Greek urn and things like that were manipulated, changed, destroyed, dominated and stuff, right? So they know what could happen when an empire takes. So they take resisting a bit more seriously. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? So any which way, the way that they united with really having this struggle to be independent, right? And to attack the United Kingdom or whatever. And how, like as she said, they are really matching with the understanding that the people must always be at the center. At the center. So I have to read that back on 126 to 127. The British answer to our methods was to flood the island with troops. It was the wrong answer. Numbers have little meaning in guerrilla warfare. From the guerrilla's point of view, it is positively dangerous to increase the size of groups beyond a certain point. I call this the saturation point. It is determined by the nature of the terrain, the skill of the fighters, their requirements in food and supplies, the tactics employed, and the need to keep down casualties. Any given area can usefully absorb a certain number of men in mountainous country where peaks and ravines are dead ground. The figure is only a fraction of the numbers required elsewhere. I myself, when I joined the Andarates in the mountains, always felt uneasy if there were more than a half a dozen of us together. Even in the plains of the saturation points is lower, and one might suppose. For example, to use more than 5 or 6 men in a village attack would serve no purpose. For the more numerous the attacks, the more difficult it is for them to escape after the action. Blah, 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 blah. The most important thing that I wanted to read from there is that numbers mean very little, right? And what you're seeing in this trend is that they find out that that about 300, he said like 300,000 people were just mouthing off, and they supported these people, but they weren't willing to do anything. They were not organizers, right? But they were not part of them, but they kind of supported them and whatever. And 30,000 knew of people, or had relations with people, or met a person that was really a member of them. Right? You understand? And then from there, 3,000 people, right, actually did some kind of work here and there for them. Picked up a letter here, put a brick here, did that, whatever, 3,000 of them, right? And so 3,000 of them, anyways, 1,000 of them actually would do a protest here and there for the people. 300 of them were actually members. Do you understand? Do you understand? Do you understand? Land back, land back, land back. But there's just so much to learn around here. And also that, what I like about this chapter is that it takes us away from the adventurism, the breaking and destroying and things like that. And understanding the real deal is the people, politicizing the people, educating the masses, getting the masses to unite with you and things like that, and being clear with your message.
You can't have any kind of like confusion, and that's what happened with the IRA. What was the message? Like, yes, we're tired of the British, but that isn't clear enough. Of course, everyone in Ireland is tired of the British, but why did they win them? Because their message wasn't clear to unify them against one specific thing. And because of their inability to, unify the people, I think this is really why they're inspired to just commit random acts of terrorism. Is they thought that in itself, because they misunderstood the mass of people. Like, yes, the Irish wanted the British out, but not like this, not to what end. And that's why when we're communicating with the masses of people, our message has to be very direct. And our 4 principles of unity are, when we go, knock on someone's door or talk to someone in the grocery store or whatever, we say, we believe you, yes, you should have dictatorship over your life, land, labor, and resource.
Yes.
And they're like, okay, what does that mean? It means I think you're leadership.
Yes.
Not that cracker that's your manager. They don't know what you do all day. You do.
Come on.
You do. Not your landlord. I don't believe in them. I believe in you. I believe in you. And that's what we really got to communicate with the people.
Girl, you're so right. Because when people telling like, oh, stop those landlords, da-da-da-da, stop these evictions, da-da-da, they're speaking to the politicians. They're speaking to the landlords. Like, they believe in the politicians and the landlords to change. Ooh, girl.
But I believe in you. You can change it. You don't need your landlord. And that's all I'm going to say on that. I'm not going to be asking no politician for nothing. I'm not going to beg the state for nothing.
Not a thing. I'm begging you to donate to Hammer City right now. Y'all, we have $450.
Let's go.
Y'all, we can do a bit more. Let's get to 500. Let me tell you, what I'm about to tell you is going to get us to 500, y'all. Guess what? Guess what? Because we are 10,000 feet in the air, on altitude, whatever. Girlies, bring your cellular devices. They work perfectly. We standing on our antenna. We thought we was gonna have to build an antenna. We're not gonna need to build an antenna, girl.
It's already set up.
It's clear.
So for real, just get a little tent, a little comfy, a little sleeping bag, and you can be on a Netflix. You can be doing your action items, which you should be doing before Netflix. Right up there on the lands.
We can do the Tuesday rally, the book trap, everything right on the land right now with nothing on it. Right now. Girl.
These tricks can't even spell 5G.
Yes! Let's see. Land back. But okay, y'all, land back. Please donate. Let's go into these announcements. Donate at Build Hammer City, GoFundMe, and Venmo.
We just need $50 more. Let's hit our 500 goal.
Woo! There's 62 people watching. $2. If everybody right now donated $1, we would have 62. So everybody donate $4 right now. Whatever you already gave, I know you gave already, but $4 that's not gonna break you, baby. $4. Put $4 on it. Let's get
this. And then
thing.
Today we got Forging the Hammer at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And for all of you who are members, this is a mandatory event. We're going to be talking about criticism and self-criticism, class suicide, and first aid. And I want to tell y'all, all of these things relate to each other very specifically. Criticism and self-criticism is the only way we can improve ourselves as revolutionaries. It don't matter how many books you read. It don't matter how many protests you've organized if you're not willing to criticize your comrades and be self-critical. And it's a science. It's not just, oh, I'm self-critical. Blah, blah, blah. No, there is a science. You got to lay out what happened objectively.
Yes.
How it affected the people politically.
Yes.
3, how are you going to materially overturn this and to make sure it never happens again? The overturning of your contradictions is the most important part. And that can't be shown through writing it out. We do like it to be written out, but it really shows itself through how hard you're going to work to make sure that that colonial contradiction does not sprout out again. So please make sure you're in there early, Hammers, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll see y'all there.
What's next on the agenda? What it may say, what my chief may say.
Criticism and self-criticism are the highest forms of love.
Aww.
Absolutely right, Chief Mace. All right, next with the next announcement, we got our water crisis in Missouri panel. So our Science and Technology Office will be speaking with the chapter of Missouri to discuss what is happening in the water and how we're moving forward with that and how we're utilizing science and technology and putting it under our dictatorship so we don't have to ask no politicians for clean water. We're making our own clean water and we're taking it into our own hands because we have to. We have seen, specifically in Flint, it's been nearly a decade of people asking the state for clean water. And now we want to introduce what it looks like to take it into our own hands, to take care of our own water. And we want this to spread everywhere. We deserve dictatorship over our goddamn water, period. So please make sure to tune in Saturday, April 24th, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Y'all, do you know Hammer City got 3 streams and a pond, and the water is so clear? Oh, Lord have mercy, y'all. Talking about water. Talking about water. Lay back. What's next?
And then next we got Go Off Sis, which is one of our revolutionary shows with Chief Dio and Chief Afeni. And they go in talking about what is revolutionary. And that's going to be on Friday, April 23rd, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's real fun, y'all. It's an anti-colonial twist on anything. Anything and everything that we as people got to know is we can't just be talking about history all the time. We got to talk about what's currently happening and bring people to the anti-colonial struggle and understanding of what's going on in this current world, y'all. So please make sure to tune in to Go Off Sis with Chief Dio and Chief Afeni, Friday, April 23rd, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Land back, y'all.
Go off. Love that show. What's next?
Ooh, we have so many announcements. And then next, we got True Spit, which is a rap battle that our Mad Department is putting on. Different comrades from the organization who into rapping are going to be performing for all of y'all. And that's going to be on Monday, April 26th at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So hip hop, rap, all that kind of stuff is your thing. Please make sure to share it around because the current hip hop scene has been bastardized. And they ain't really talking about nothing real. And we are revolutionaries and we're talking about real stuff. And it's important to start building a revolutionary culture through music, through art, to inspire the people that there's something better than what's today. Land back.
What's next?
And then
the last episode is next week. So make sure you come. Make sure you bring your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your them friend, your grandma, your grandpa, your entanglements, your cat, your dog, your turtle, your rabbit, your snake. Bring it all to the next one, which is the last one. We gonna wow the F out. We're gonna bring on special guests. We're gonna bring on we want this to be a party because we have really developed. This is gonna be a happy birthday party because we have really developed through this
book. Like this book, absolutely transforming the organization as a whole. And if y'all haven't filmed it yet, you will soon.
Land back. So make me beg for our final message, and then we will end it. Okay. So do you have anything to say? Who's about to go?
Nah, go ahead.
Okay. I just want to say, for all intensive purposes, whatever like that, I understand we are reading The Art of War. I mean, the War of the Flea. Black Hammer is not a terrorist, violent organization, anarchist organization, rioting organization, looting organization. We are an organization of building dual and contending power. The violence that you see that was going on in this book from these different organizations and formations, we are not in the business of duplicating or doing. What we want to duplicate and do is the politicizing, right? The political education, right? That part. And I'm not saying that just because the white man may be looking. I'm saying that because I honestly and the other ICC chiefs and the entire Black Hammer organization believes that we need to focus all our energy on building because our enemy is already being defeating. It is defeating itself. We do not need to introduce violence into the United States of America. It is there. It is clear. It already has insurgencies to deal with. It already has riots to deal with, looting and pootings to deal with, destruction to deal with, a bad economy. We don't have to trick America's economy to fail. America's economy is failing. We don't have to trick or not trick. We don't have to engage in violence and destroy this building or destroy that building. People are already doing that.
Those white people are not happy and they doing it themselves.
We don't have to engage in that. So we are saying, thank y'all for out there for doing what y'all do, whatever, I guess, but we gonna be over here building, okay? And we are very defense-minded because of these white nationalist organizations, the KKK, the Proud Boys, trying to come for us. That's why, you know, a lot of things we do under wrap and we so defensible because, you know, why we bring bats? Why do we do this? It's for these white nationalist organizations. We're not even worried about the state because one, we're not doing anything illegal. And two, the state is busy.
Very busy.
The state is busy. Okay, so, but these white nationalist organizations are lynch mobs out here. You saw what just happened with that white boy working and killing those people. How do you say the name? I don't want to mess it up with my southern.
Sikhs.
The Sikhs. Killing those, the Sikhs, I believe it was 4 of them colonized, poor working class people. You've seen the white man killing those 6 Asian women. They were not the police. They were white nationalist organizations, and we believe there is already, but there's going to be even more of a spike of white nationalist organizations out at these protests. So we tell African and colonized people, be mindful, be watchful, and be prepared. We will be helping y'all prepare. We will be in these protests to help protect you. That's the only reason we're at these protests, to help protect you. We're not at these we want to make sure very clear, Black Hammer's not leading any of these protests. Black Hammer's not doing any of these protests.
We are not organizing no protests. We will come to them and provide PPE, educate y'all on coronavirus and how to make sure you're protecting your skin, your eyes, and your hair, and all that from the state. And then we go invite you to come back to the hood where the people are at and to come serve them. Because ultimately, the protests are still not where masses of people are at the moment. They are still in their poor neighborhoods, struggling to survive, wondering where y'all are at. So please come back with us to build our Serve the People programs.
Land back. I'm so glad we got that out of the way. So we are very clear. And if you hear any hammer talking some boo-boo that is not matched with the clarity of what we saying, you better let security know, our defense team know ASAP, because that seems like a provocateur.
Period.
That's looking like a provocateur.
We're not very kind about provocateur.
Say hell no, provocateur, in the comments now.
No.
Hell no. Shout out to Elaine Brown. She's done amazing interviews where she talks about these provocateurs, people that will come up to you and say, hey, I got guns. They said that to you in Utah?
Yes, a whole person came up to me and was trying to sell me weapons at a protest. Yo, these people are real. Do not engage with them. Say, I say no. No. No, provocateur. Hell no. Oh, also for the reparations corps, for the white people, them, I do want to say, white people, I know y'all like, damn, the college people are going to Hammer City. What about we? We got a place, not just a plan. We got a place for you. We got a place for you. So yes, members of the Reparation Corps will be selected to be at this place that we got for you too. Okay? It's not going to be with us. It's not with us. So let's make that clear now, colonizers. You're not going to be on Hammer City, but you got a place.
It's going to be for you. And the people you got. But it's going to be under our governance. You understand? Because you will respect the land. All of this land. You will be living harmonious with the land. All of this land. And if we find that you dropped any tiny piece of litter on this land, I mean, bitch, if you put a mint wrapper from your fingertips touch that land, and I don't care if you go down and pick it up, before you come back up, your ass gonna be suited and booted out that mofo.
And we'll know.
You will respect this land. Land back, y'all. We gotta go.
Land back, everybody. Have a good day.
Keep donating.
Come to Fortune the Hammer.
Come to Fortune the Hammer.
Come to Fortune the Hammer.
And donate.